Hi Leo, welcome to November 2017, and a very warm welcome to your November. It's getting cozy at the Leo Inn. The sun has slipped into Scorpio and your domestic fourth house, turning your attention to nesting and self-care. While our Sol is in this restorative zone until November 21st, nurture yourself with home-cooked comfort food, family bonding and blissful solitude. Surely you've got a stack of books to devour or a fully loaded Netflix queue to empty. Fresh starts surround your home and family could also arrive this month. On November 18th, the Scorpio new moon spotlights this same domestic part of your chart, turning your attention to matters that are close to your heart. Slow down and connect with loved ones instead of rushing around. Show your vulnerable side and get back in touch with your true feelings. The fourth house rules women, and at this new moon, a powerful and supportive female could open doors. Has there been family friction this year? During Scorpio season and especially at the new moon, you could start a new chapter with your mom or another relative. This lunar lift is also helpful for a move or an interior design update. Time to break out the holiday decorations or try a new shade of paint in the kitchen? Leos who are considering an address change could start searching those Zillow listings in earnest. Earlier in the month, your career takes center stage, a break from the erstwhile domestic vibes. On November 4th, the year's only Taurus full moon fires up your 10th house of career and ambition, a powerful chance to rise through the ranks. This could bring a major moment professionally, when your hard work pays off with recognition and a status boost. You might hear news about a job opportunity or sign a big client. Maybe you'll step into a leadership role on a project, which could be a savvy long-term career move. Since full moons can mark endings, you could decide to leave one path to pursue a more fulfilling position. If your heart just isn't in it, or the job's not a fit, don't let scarcity convince you that this is your only option. You owe it to yourself to at least look around, Leo. Ready to show the world what you're really made of, Leo? On November 11th, structured Saturn and liberated Uranus form their third of three rare and harmonious trines. The last two alignments were on December 24, 2016. And May 19, 2017. Events sparked at these dates will have a bold third act today, which could transform a major part of your identity. These planets are very different polar opposites, in fact. And they don't usually play well together. But because of this cooperative angle, you have a rare opportunity to harmonize their contrasting agendas. What could a mashup of rule-making Saturn and rule-breaking Uranus look like? Can you fight for progress while still honoring tradition? Near this date, you could find a way to miraculously blend the time-tested and the trendy. With Sirius Saturn activating your self-expression zone and radical Uranus jolting your ninth house of unvarnished honesty, there's no way you can keep your opinions to yourself. One of your big ideas might go viral, possibly with the backing of some heavy hitters in your field. A venture you've been toiling away at could take flight unexpectedly. If you've been racking your brain to solve a problem, you could have a light bulb moment. You could be tapped as an influencer or one to watch, especially if you spread the word on social media and through grassroots channels. But it will be hard to remain high-minded about things on November 19th, when brash Mars locks into a tense square with calculating Pluto in your controlling 6th house. Micromanaging much? Power struggles can erupt, and you could hurl some verbal daggers that will be hard to undo. Watch your words and avoid the temptation to go for the jugular. An assistant or helpful person could throw you unacceptable shade and need to be put in check. Luckily, you can start blowing off steam on November 21st, when the sun soars into Sagittarius and fires up your festive, flirtatious 5th house. As the natural ruler of this zodiac zone, you're in your wild-hearted wheelhouse for the next 4 weeks. Bring it. Love, creativity and joie de vivre are your primary pursuits. Pump up the passion and get an early start on all the holiday gatherings, even, or especially, if that means throwing them yourself. Fog starts to lift around finances and intimate affairs starting November 22nd, when hazy Neptune ends a 5-month retrograde in Pisces and your 8th house of merging. If you've been dealing with jealousy and emotional rollercoaster rides, or money has seemed to slip through your fingers, you'll get a firmer grasp on all of it. And just in time for gifting season. But keep your boundaries clear, even if you find yourself flush with a year-end bonus. Leos love to be generous, but make sure you're giving to people who deserve it. Concerning love and romance. Let's talk about love. With Randy Mars in Libra and your third house of communication all month, dialogue gets daring. Emboldened by the red planet, you'll get frisky and risky about airing your desires and speaking your truth. With seductive Venus also in Libra until November 7th, you could make a few irresistible propositions. Not that your typical Leo has a hard time being upfront, but nobody will need to guess where you stand now. Which is great, as long as you don't tip the scales into ego-tripping or argumentative terrain. You can come on a bit strong with Mars here. Sometimes you don't need to be quite so heavy-handed or assertive. You've already got the floor. The third house rules neighborhoods, and you could become quite an in-demand fixture on the local scene. Let friends set you up with their friends, and go flirt like a champion at your favorite hangouts. Sparks could also blaze up with someone you meet online. But during this casual cycle, you might just enjoy the witty banter with no strings attached. Your sensitive side emerges the second week of the month. From November 7th to December 1st, Venus is touring Scorpio and your emotional fourth house. You'll start to feel a bit more sensitive and vulnerable and in need of reassurance. Security becomes a priority, especially near the eye-opening conjunction of Venus and expansive Jupiter on the November 13th. Talk could turn to next steps, such as moving in together, meeting each other's families or even babies. Or maybe you'll just clear out a drawer and give him a spare key to your place. With optimistic Jupiter in the mix, you could open up a bit too quickly. Although Mars tempts you to share your whole life story on the first date, you could have an emotional crash if you zip from 0 to 60. You might get all attached to someone only to find out they're just in it for kicks. Embarrassed and hurt are not how you want to start the festive season feeling. The fourth house rules home and family, and with Venus here, couples could be making sweet holiday plans to host or visit each other's clans. At the very least, diplomatic Venus makes it easier to navigate this tension-inducing topic. But before you buy plane tickets, note that brash Mars will move into Scorpio and your domestic zone on December 9th, which could ramp up the tension. For next month's plans, book an Airbnb or a hotel room instead of staying in B's childhood bedroom. Think twice about offering the pull-out sofa to out-of-town guests for the sake of preserving the relationship. Good fences make good neighbors. The opportunity days are November 5th. Chatty Mercury enters your feisty and flirtatious fifth house for the rest of 2017, spicing up the season. But things could take a turn for the dramatic once Mercury turns retrograde on December 3rd. November 7th to December 1st. The love planet enters your home and family zone, sweetening the vibes at Chateau Leo. Pregnancy, moving in together, meeting the family, it's easy to bring up these topics now. Single Leos could meet someone while visiting your hometown or through longtime acquaintances. You might also take a little break from the dating game to nurture yourself. November 11th. The third of 3 rare trines helps you open up in a measured way rather than blurting out your whole life story upon meeting. Take a bold but thoughtful risk in your love life. Look back to the year's first Saturn-Uranus trine on May 19th for clues of what may resurface. A sudden attraction could spark up with someone from a different background, or you might weigh the pros and cons of a long-distance relationship. For couples, a moment of honesty could refresh your bond and put it on more solid ground. November 13th. It's one of the most emotionally expansive days of the year, as the benefics in your sensitive fourth house encourage an emotional leap of faith. Wear your heart on your sleeve and allow yourself to receive love too. November 15th. Your sentimental side makes an epic appearance. Bring on the affection and gushing. Pass the tissues. November 18th. A fresh start in your emotional life begins today. You could be inspired to be more open, or you might begin making plans to share your life with someone, possibly through living together, buying property or expanding a family. November 22nd. Hazy Neptune wraps up its 5-month retrograde backspin, clearing up issues around trust, jealousy, sex and emotional bonds. The challenge days are November 4th. You or your SO could initiate a dialogue that changes things suddenly. Or you may learn something surprising about your mate's proclivities that shifts the course of your union. Maybe a little curveball will be a turn-on? You never know until you try. For money and career, the Leo show goes on hiatus this month. Until November 21st, The Sun makes its annual visit to Scorpio and your domestic 4th house. The spotlight is more on your personal life than your professional endeavors. But why not enhance the productive vibes at Chateau Leo? Try a little feng shui in your home office. Here are a few tips. Go on a decluttering mission to allow energy to flow freely and invite abundance into your sphere. Meanwhile, go-getter Mars is roving through Libra and your 3rd house of communication all month. Casual conversation could spark serious synergy with the red planet in this kindred spirit zone. But don't rush in. Test your chemistry on your trial project before getting in too deep. Impatient Mars give us the tendency to leap without looking. The 3rd house rules local affairs, so spread the word close to home or do some word-of-mouth marketing. This is a great time to collect referrals and testimonials, or to ramp up a more dynamic social media presence. Watch out for an argumentative streak this month. If you don't feed the trolls, they'll go back to their caves. You've got better things to focus on. If you're negotiating a deal, you may have to play a little hardball. Assertive Mars helps you stand your ground. A career coup could arrive early on this month, when the Taurus full moon rocks the skies on the November 4th, bringing your professional goals to the fore. Since full moons often signify endings or completions, you could leave a job to pursue something else, or even receive a promotion for all of your hard work this year. Page back to the corresponding Taurus new moon 6 months prior. You could see that the long hours you've put in to reach a certain milestone have finally come to fruition. The opportunity days are November 4th. To the penthouse, please. The brilliant full moon in your professional sector could bring a promotion, a major achievement, or even a whole new career path. Start drafting your acceptance speech. November 22nd. After an ungrounded 5 months, money stops slipping through your fingers. Shady people will go their own way, and you'll get clarity about managing your funds for long-term security. If an investment has been draining your resources, financial, emotional, energetic, it's time to cut things off. Challenge days are November 19th. You'll need to be strategic today, so watch what you reveal. This is not the time to be an open book. You could get sucked into a power struggle or a battle of wills, possibly even with an assistant or someone you've allowed into your inner circle. Perfectionism and micromanaging can lead to a showdown. Someone may act in a controlling or secretive manner, pushing your buttons. Be careful what you say or put in email. This what we have for you here this month. Thank you for following and watching. And I would like to invite you to like and subscribe to my channel so that you can receive the latest postings. I'll see you there in December. Have a good month.